Arctic climate change is kind of a window into our future in a lot of ways. Even our best case scenarios are going to have radical impacts for a lot of people around the world. My name is Richard Davey. I'm a researcher at the Nesson Centre in Bergen. I grew up in a really remote place in Scotland with no mains electricity, no mains water, so you felt very connected to nature. And I research the climate system, particularly in the Arctic. My interests include the processes which tie the ocean to the sea ice and the atmosphere in the Arctic, and about predictability. So how we can predict how things can change on short timescales. So sort of between 2 and 10 years. And what sea ice does is essentially isolates the ocean from the atmosphere, so that you can't get any heat from the ocean into the atmosphere. So, for example, what we know is one of the biggest changes in the Arctic is that the sea ice is getting much thinner and much more fragile. And this means that it's much more susceptible to being broken up by storms and by waves. And as the sea ice is getting thinner, you don't have to melt all the sea ice. As it's getting thinner and it starts breaking up, the ocean and the atmosphere have much more exchange. And that changes a lot about the atmospheric climate, but also that extra heating going into the atmosphere. This can also change larger circulation patterns as well. So it can also change the weather further south. We're studying how cyclones in the Arctic break up the sea ice. When they break up the sea ice, they get more heat from the ocean, and then the cyclones can keep going for longer and continue to break up more sea ice. And one of the big challenges with this is we have a lot of different feedback processes in the Arctic, right? So we have where you get a little bit of extra heat out of the ocean, and that can have a huge impact on the atmosphere. And that creates a lot of sort of temperature feedbacks. Even under these very hopeful estimates that will limit global warming to 2 degrees, that still means 6 degrees of changing on average in the Arctic and 12 degrees in winter. And that's a radically different climate for the Arctic, radically different. We know enough to take action. When you see that action isn't taken, it's very painful. You get a lot of this, we need system change, but systems are made of people. Systems are collections of individual choices. Each individual choice every single day matters.